Have you ever felt like you're stuck in a never-ending cycle, no matter how hard you try? You set goals, you take action, but somehow things never seem to change the way you expect. What if the reason you're not seeing the results you want isn't because you're not trying hard enough, but because you're not assuming the reality you want? This is where the law of assumption comes in. It's a simple but powerful concept that says, what you assume to be true will become your reality. It's not about hoping, wishing, or even just thinking positively. It's about living as if what you desire has already happened, aligning your thoughts, feelings, and actions with that assumption, and allowing the universe to bring it into being. Neville Goddard, a pioneer in the field of manifestation, taught that our reality is shaped by our imagination and assumptions. In fact, he argued that the world around you is a direct reflection of what you believe and assume to be true. Imagine that. What you assume in your mind is what the world will show you. This is the power you have. You're not a passive observer in your life. You're the creator of your own experience. But here's the catch. You have to believe it with every part of you. It's not just about saying the words or visualizing your desires. It's about assuming the feeling of having it already. How would you act, feel, and think if you were already living in your dream reality? How would you move through the world if you knew success, love, health, or wealth were inevitable? That's the kind of assumption you need to make. And once you do, the universe has no choice but to match your energy. The best part? It's not magic, it's science. Our brains are wired to believe what we tell them, and when we persist in assuming something is true, we begin to align our entire reality with that assumption. It might seem simple, but it's incredibly powerful. And the beauty is that anyone can do it. No special skills or secret knowledge required. You just need to be consistent and trust the process. In this video, we'll explore exactly how you can start applying the law of assumption in your own life. I'll walk you through clear steps that will help you create the reality you desire, starting today. No more waiting for circumstances to change. You can change the course of your life simply by shifting your assumptions. Ready to learn how? Let's dive in. The law of assumption is simple, yet incredibly powerful. Whatever you assume to be true will manifest in your reality. It's not about hoping for something to happen, nor is it about wishing your dreams into existence. It's about actively assuming that the thing you want is already true and living from that assumption. At first, this might sound like wishful thinking, but there's a huge difference between hoping and assuming. Hoping is passive. It's like waiting for something to happen, but assuming is active. It's about aligning your thoughts, feelings, and actions as though your desire is already fulfilled. The moment you make that assumption, you start to vibrate at the frequency of your desire, and the universe has no choice but to respond accordingly. Here's the key. Your imagination is the key to your reality. According to Neville Goddard, the world you experience is a projection of your mind. If you believe that something is true, whether that belief is based in reality or not, your mind will shape your world to match that belief. This is why imagination and assumption are so critical. They serve as the starting point for manifesting the life you want. Think of it this way. You are the architect of your reality. The assumptions you hold about yourself, your potential, and the world around you shape everything you experience. For instance, if you assume that you are worthy of love and success, then the world around you will begin to reflect that assumption. On the other hand, if you assume that life is difficult or that you're not good enough, you'll start to see those reflections in your reality too. But how do you actually apply this? How do you make these assumptions real and start living as though your desires are already true? It starts with a shift in perspective. Instead of asking, "How can I make this happen?" you start asking, What would I be doing if this were already my reality? When you can begin to act as if the desire has already manifested, you send out a signal to the universe that you're ready to receive it. The universe responds to that frequency, and you begin to see the changes you desire unfold in your life. The law of assumption isn't just about thinking differently. It's about living differently, adopting a mindset where you believe in the reality you want to create before it's physically apparent. And this shift, it's transformative. By changing your assumptions, you change your entire experience. Now that we've covered what the law of assumption is and why it works, let's dive into the steps you can take to start applying it to your life. Starting today, these steps are simple, but they work if you're willing to put them into practice. 1. Get clear on what you want. The first step in applying the law of assumption is to be crystal clear on what you want. Know exactly what you're after. The universe needs clarity, so get specific. Instead of saying, "I want more money," say something like, "I want to earn $5,000 a month from my business." Write it down. There's power in putting your desires into the world through writing. It helps you commit. 2. Assume the feeling of the wish. Fulfilled now, this is where the magic happens. To truly use the law of assumption, feel as though you already have what you desire. Imagine yourself already living that reality. If you're visualizing wealth, feel the excitement of having more than enough. Feel the freedom that comes with financial abundance. If you want love, feel the joy of being loved. Feel the emotional connection that comes with being in the relationship you desire. The key is to live in the feeling of your desired reality. The universe responds to the feeling more than just the thought. 3. Affirmations. Speak it into existence. Next, use affirmations to reinforce your assumptions. These affirmations should be in the present tense, as if your desire has already come true. For example, if you're manifesting financial freedom, say, "I am abundant and financially free." Repeat your affirmations often, morning, noon, and night, but especially when doubt creeps in. The more you repeat them, the stronger the assumption becomes in your subconscious mind. 4. Live in the end result. This is one of the most powerful parts of the law of assumption. Start living as though your desires are already fulfilled. Act as if you've already achieved your goals. Walk, talk, and think like you're already living your dream life. If you're manifesting a new job, how would you feel if you already had it? Would you feel more confident, excited? Embody that energy. The universe doesn't respond to just your thoughts. It responds to the energy you put out into the world. When you live in the end result, you are sending that energy out every single day. 5. Let go of how it will happen. Here's the important part. Detach from the how. Don't obsess over how your desires will manifest. You don't need to control the process or figure everything out. The moment you start to wonder, "How will this happen?" you're resisting the process. Trust that once you assume it, the universe will figure out the details for you. All you need to do is stay aligned and keep assuming that your desire is already true. 6th, be consistent and persistent. Finally, be consistent and persistent with your assumptions. Don't give up just because you don't see instant results. The more you persist in your assumption, the quicker the universe aligns with it. Keep affirming, keep visualizing, and most importantly, keep living from the assumption. If you fall off track or doubt creeps in, come back to the feeling of having your desire now. The law of assumption isn't just some new age philosophy. It's a tool you can use to change your life, starting right now. The process is simple. Get clear on your desires, assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled, and live as though it's already true. The more you persist in doing this, the more your reality will shift to match what you're assuming. Your reality is waiting for you. The moment you start assuming your desires are already yours is the moment your life begins to change. The power is within you, and it's time to step into it. When you first start using the law of assumption, doubt is inevitable. It's natural to feel uncertain about something as profound as changing your reality through your thoughts. But the most important thing to remember is that doubt doesn't have to control you. It's just a feeling, a temporary part of the process that doesn't define your journey. What you need to do is acknowledge the doubt, but don't let it take the wheel. Doubt is simply your mind trying to bring you back to old patterns, to make you question your ability to change. But the truth is, the moment you start assuming your desires are already true, things begin to shift. The external world may not reflect that right away, and that's okay. You don't need immediate proof. What you need is to keep assuming that the life you want is already yours. It's common to wonder, what if it doesn't work? Or, what if I'm just fooling myself? These are normal thoughts, but they only gain power when you give them attention. Instead of focusing on the doubt, turn your energy towards your assumption. Keep affirming to yourself that your desired reality is already unfolding. The more you do this, the more you'll begin to believe it to be true. And as you persist, your reality will start to align. Living from the end, assuming that your desires have already manifested, means you're living in a world of your own creation. Your thoughts are creating your experience, and while you may not see the changes immediately, trust that the universe is rearranging things behind the scenes. The more consistently you hold that assumption, the closer you get to seeing it reflected in your physical world. And when things don't seem to happen quickly enough, stay patient. Remember, the law of assumption isn't about immediate results. It's about staying true to your belief and trusting that what you've assumed will eventually manifest. Keep going, even when it feels like nothing is changing. Trust in the timing, because when the assumption is strong enough, reality will have no choice but to shift to match it. Once you begin applying the law of assumption, the next step is to make it a daily practice. The key to manifesting your desires through assumption is consistency. It's not about making a few affirmations here and there and expecting instant results. It's about living in the assumption that your desires are already real every single day. Start each day by grounding yourself in the feeling of already having what you want. Feel the emotions of already living the life you desire, even before you see any physical changes. The law of assumption works because your subconscious mind doesn't distinguish between what's actually happening in your life and what you imagine or believe. So, if you wake up and live in the belief that you're already where you want to be, you are setting the stage for that to unfold. But it's not just about thinking, "I've already made it." It's about embodying that feeling in every part of your being. If you want financial abundance, feel what it's like to not worry about money, to have more than enough. If you want love, feel the warmth of that love in your heart, as if the perfect relationship is already in your life. When you focus on the feeling and not just the thought, you make the assumption real in your mind and body. The more you practice this, the more it becomes a part of who you are. It's no longer a hope or a wish. It becomes a belief that you live by. Over time, your external reality will begin to reflect those beliefs and assumptions. The world will start to rearrange itself to match the energy you're putting out. And here's the most important part. Don't stop. Many people give up when they don't see immediate results. They start to doubt, they get frustrated, or they shift their focus. But the key to success with the law of assumption is persistence. As long as you stay consistent and continue to live from the assumption that your desires are already yours, the universe will eventually catch up. Manifestation is a gradual process. It requires patience, trust, and a deep belief in the power of your assumptions. If you stick with it, you will see the shifts in your life, and those shifts will lead to bigger changes. You might not even notice the small changes at first, but the moment you do, you'll realize that everything you assumed is now coming into your reality. So, keep assuming, keep believing. Your reality is changing, one assumption at a time. The more you live as though your desires are already true, the more your reality will align with them. Now, as you continue to apply the law of assumption, one of the most important things to understand is that persistence and patience are your best allies. It's easy to get excited at the beginning, but when you don't see immediate results, that's when most people start to doubt and let go of the practice. But here's the truth. Manifestation is a process, not an instant fix. Remember, the law of assumption works by aligning your internal world with your external reality. It's not about forcing things to happen or rushing the process. It's about consistently living in the assumption of your desired reality, trusting that the universe will adjust to reflect what you truly believe. One of the main reasons people fail with manifestation is because they give up too soon. They start assuming that their desires are already theirs, but when the physical reality doesn't reflect that assumption immediately, they doubt and question the process. They stop doing the work, and that's when things start to stall. Persistence is the key to keeping your momentum. So how do you stay persistent? The answer lies in trusting the process. Even if you can't see immediate results, trust that your assumptions are working behind the scenes. Like planting a seed in the ground, you don't see the roots immediately, but you know they're growing. Eventually, the seed will push through the soil and bloom, and your assumptions will manifest in the physical world. Patience is a critical component of this process. You don't have to see instant results to know that what you've assumed is already coming to life. The universe moves in its own time, and your job is to stay aligned with your assumption, not to force things to happen. You might not see the changes immediately, but don't let that discourage you. Keep living in the assumption that your desires are already yours, and trust that they are being made manifest in ways that you might not even see yet. And here's a powerful reminder: believe before you see it. Most people wait to see the change first before believing it's possible. But with the law of assumption, you have to believe first, before any external evidence shows up. That's the secret to making your desires real. As you keep going, remember to be patient with yourself. It's easy to get caught up in frustration when things aren't happening as quickly as you'd like. But the law of assumption works if you stay consistent and stay in the feeling of your desire being already fulfilled. The law of assumption is a powerful tool, but it requires consistent effort and unwavering faith. By living in the assumption that your desires are already true, and by staying persistent and patient, you'll start to notice the small shifts that lead to bigger changes. The most important part of this process is trusting yourself. You are the creator of your reality, and when you believe that your assumptions are shaping your world, you're stepping into your true power. Stay consistent, keep assuming, and watch your reality begin to shift around you. Your reality is already on the way to matching your assumptions. It's all unfolding, one thought, one assumption, one feeling at a time. The universe has already started working on your behalf. Now it's time for you to stay the course and see how it all comes together.